Hello, in this video we are going to make fabric paper and paper fabric. So it doesn't matter which layer you start with, you're actually going to have this paper on one side and the fabric on the other side. So paper fabric or fabric paper, that's what we're making today. And this is going to be an embellished page and our 5-ring binder that we're altering. So our altered book series using a 5-ring binder, Better Homes and Garden, whatever binder you have, and I'm showing you how to stabilize and strengthen the old book pages or just the book pages because they're a little bit, flimsy. You can see how that is. They tear easily. So I've already shown you how to reinforce the side with the holes. Very quick and easy with paper. You could use fabric as well, but it would be, you'd have to have something that could punch holes through the fabric. So that's why I used the paper. So the first thing you're going to need, several things you're going to need, supplies. You will need a 1/2 cup measurer that you only use for your crafting. So this is an old measuring cup, Tupperware, and it's a half cup. So you want a glass jar. You're going to put half water, 1/2 cup of water, 1/2 cup of PVC glue, tacky glue. And then, or I know people use the Liquitex, but to me that's a little like too expensive. I wouldn't want to use that. So let's use the cheaper glues. And you will need a skewer stick or some kind of plastic stick. You could use your knife. I might use a knife. Use your plastic utensil. So we want to stir this up really, really good. And I have a gallon of this Aleene's tacky glue, so I have my husband pour that in there for me. And I started off with a 1/4 cup of water, and I only wanted a 1/4 cup of glue. But you know how that goes, and the glue came out faster than we anticipated. So I went ahead and poured the whole 1/2 cup of water in too. So that's fine. So you just want to make sure your jar is going to be big enough to accommodate in case that happens. So start with the glue and then put the water in. And I didn't want to pour the glue in the measuring cup and then have all that glue residue. And I didn't want to put oil around the measuring cup because that would have prevented the glue from sticking. But then who wants oily glue water? I did not want that. So needless to say, this is what we did. So then I'll have approximately a cup of liquidy glue water left. So you want to have a plastic bag on your work surface. And you also want to have some kind of a brush. You can use a sponge brush, or you could just use a bristled brush. So I'm using a bristled brush. And you want to have your book page to begin with, and I've cut up pieces of fabric here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to reinforce the book page with pieces of fabric. And I also have napkins. So we have 3 pages that we're going to add the paper fabric to. So I have napkins that I'm going to be using as well. So I will do a combination of fabric and napkin on the book pages. So let me set these to a side. And you need to saturate the whole, both sides. So we're going to be, this is 2-sided, obviously. So we're going to be covering both sides with our glue water. So you definitely want your tabletop protected. So I have my cutting mat underneath. My table is wood, which is painted. And then I need to slide the bag further down, so I'm making sure that I'm not having any of the wood exposed, just in case, you get a little bit excited and then the water glue starts going. So this way it can drip over the edge and go straight to the floor, which I don't care. Okay, no, I have laminate floor, so it's okay. If you have tile, carpet, you might want to have plastic bag underneath of you too. So just don't get too carried away. Okay, so the first step is to wet your paper with your glue water. You're going to completely saturate it. Have your little pieces of fabric already cut up and ready to go. So I'm going to show you two different styles. All right. Nothing hard about this project. Something really easy, relaxing to do. And so I am nursing a injured hand. So my left hand, I tore ligaments in there, opening up a curtain blind in my bedroom. And so I had to go to the doctor today and get a laser treatment so that it would speed the healing, because I could barely close my hand and it was all the stiffness. It was just awful. Pain was excruciating. So now it feels a whole lot better and I'm so happy. So I said, I got to craft today, because all day yesterday I sat on the couch with my hand propped up on a pillow going, ah. I said, this is not me. I can't do this. I got to get in there in my craft room. I couldn't just, you can't function when, I said, man, this is awful when you just have one hand, So when you're used to having both hands. So I was really kind of feeling down. But I was like, okay, don't worry about it. Just go with it. Okay, so now just doesn't, if you want to go with some kind of a pattern, you can do that, but just start laying your fabric pieces down, and we're going to put more glue on top of that. So just make sure this is, which side is which here. And yes, I know I should have put on gloves, which I usually do. Let me go get a pair of gloves. Okay, now that's the extra step you want to do is make sure you put on gloves. And then just go right over the top of the fabric with the glue, because you want to make sure this is really saturating and sticking to your paper. The glue and the paper are going to become one. So you want to leave this here, and you want it to leave it to dry overnight. This is not a rush project. This is a project you got to take your time on. Allow all the glue and the paper to come together. Trying to figure out how can I fill that in. Alrighty. Should have cut a bigger piece of that. Okay, I'm going to leave this open. And you want to use fabric that's thin. I don't think I said that in the beginning, so I'm telling you now. Use fabric that is thin. Thin cotton. You want a cotton blend of fabric. Those are the best results that you will get. Okay. So glue, fabric, and then glue again on top. And then you can come on to, we can add some more decorative elements on top of this. So I will show you once this is all done with the fabric, then how we can come back in and we can add some other fun elements. And you can go over the border and trim it all off when you're done. And don't skip the step of adding the extra glue on the top. You definitely want to do that. There. If I turn it enough times, I'll get it right. Oh, goodness. You have to be able to laugh at yourself, you know? And I can. I'm able to laugh at myself again. It's like, you know, when you lose that, you're just like, wow, I think I like the peach better with this. Here, I'm gonna trim it. All the way over that far. Perfect. Okay, now we are not done yet. Oh, is this fun? This is fun. I love it. Love it. Love, love, love it. It's just so fun to do something new. Isn't it fun to do something new? Okay, now you're going to come in with your napkin. You're going to decide which napkin do we want to use. And I think I'm going to go with this napkin here. And we're just going to tear random spots, random pieces. Okay. And then we're going to just decide where we want to put down that napkin. That's why the gloves are important. So now that's going to just absorb that glue beautifully. Come in with some more of the napkin. And if you have any napkins with wording in it, fabulous. That would really be so cool. Sad to say, I do not. Now, to take apart a napkin, if you've never seen how to do that, you get a piece of tape and you use it to tear that back layer. You might have 1 or 2 plies. This one looks like it's only 1. Boy, is it fragile. Now you don't have to tear off the plies. It will all stick because the glue will keep it together, but I didn't want to do that. All right, I don't want the little animal border. I just want this decorative swirly part that's in the middle. And this thing is so thin now, it's like really hard to tear, but I'm doing the best I can. Okay, that's better. Gotta be careful with how much I do with this finger too. This hand, I like my pointer index finger is really beginning to scream at me. Okay, so tear off a little bit of this here. Cut it there. So this is how you make fabric paper, using your book paper first, the book page first, fabric layer on top of that, and then a napkin layer on top of that. And just have fun with it. Just whatever looks good to you, whatever you want to do. And then, yep, indeedy, we're going to put another, woohoo, got to be careful with the napkin though. Blot it, because it's getting really wet now, so just blot it. But you want to make sure it's, you know, going to stay down where we put it. But isn't this going to be a cool page in the book? I mean, it's really going to be a really cute page now. Okay, so I'm going to let all this dry. I have a lid I'm going to put over the top of this. And so that will keep my watered down glue until I'm ready to do the back side. And I don't want to flip it over quite yet because that napkin will tear. So I'm going to give this several hours to start drying. I don't want to come in with the heat gun and speed it up right yet. I want it to just do it on its own, and then I'll come back to it in a little bit. Okay, so that is quick and easy how to make your own fabric paper using your book paper out of your 5-ring binder when you're altering a book, and then we'll flip it over and we'll do the other side, so you won't realize how much time has gone by. So when I'm just in a matter of seconds, you will see me again flipping it over and we're going to do the other side, but it's actually going to have been hours. Okay, so right back in a flash.